It's soup season.
Yeah, it is. And here now to cook up a storm, it's meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Okay, January was National Soup Month, so we're just carrying it on, right?
Yeah, it's already February, isn't it?
Yeah, but Super Bowl season.
Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl. So.
Well, can I just interject real quick and say this is the first time I've heard so much about it. The first time that the legendary crock pot is in my presence.
I had to show you that I can still cook other things because Heather likes to bash me and be like, "Oh, you can only cook in a crock pot." Right?
Not accurate.
I've been impressed so far. It's all been very good.
Yeah, and this one too is almost a half crock pot. There's ways to modify it where you can do it all at once in 45 minutes, but I put the vegetables and stuff to start, let it simmer all day today. We gotta make some meatballs too because we're making Swedish Meatball Soup.
Ooh.
Yeah, really good. And
okay, so this comes first and then the meatballs.
I'm actually gonna, just for time purposes, I'm gonna talk about the meatballs. We'll talk about the soup part in a bit. Meatballs. You ever made homemade meatballs?
Maybe once or twice, but they're so easy to buy in a bag.
They really are. So if you want to save some time, just buy some frozen meatballs. However, I like to make my own meatballs. You know, I'm hourly around here, right? So why not? Yeah. So here's what I've got. I've got my meatballs in this tray here. If you use a pound of ground beef and then you mix in some panko breadcrumbs and then you also do a blitz of seasonings. You've got seasonings on there like pepper, onion, garlic. We've got parsley. We've got some allspice and some nutmeg in there.
Ooh, lots of flavors.
Yeah, lots of flavor in there. And then I made the mini size. So show me, I'm gonna put you wanna see those meatballs. That's the best part here. They're raw. I'm gonna stick them in the oven at 400 for, we're gonna do about 10 minutes so they brown on the outside. Depending on your size, might have to be a little bit more, but I just wanted to get that.
So is it kind of similar to like doing meatloaf where you're just taking the ground meat and
it really is,
it all
I was
together?
packing them earlier, had them ready to go.
Okay.
So, they're gonna be in there for about 10 minutes or so. And you can wait until your soup has been simmering before about half hour, 45 minutes before you're ready to go, because we only need about 10 minutes in there. We'll pull them out. We're gonna add that and the other stuff in here.
What's the other stuff?
Want to know what's in here first off? What I've got some smoke, some of the smell coming out here.
Good.
It does smell good. It's got some vegetables in there. So I've got some carrots and some onion and some celery that are diced. I put in a little butter.
Did you dice those carrots yourself?
By hand, every single one of them.
Be quiet.
No, I have one of those.
Serious?
You remember that veggie chopper I had? I had it on a couple of times ago.
Yeah.
I did that. If you want to know my secret little contraption, I guess that works.
It's really a veggie chopper.
Because it does a really good
It
job.
does. Those are so cute.
Yeah, they're pretty even in there. You can kind of see that. You can let her come back in. They're all even in size. I don't like things to be, you know, one size bigger, one size smaller.
Well, there's actually, I was talking to a chef one time. There's a reason for that because things will cook unevenly.
Correct.
So some things will be crunchier, some things will be soft. So if it's all the same size.
That's right. So we got that in there, and that carrot, that onion, and that celery is in there. Again, it's in a broth. That broth is beef broth, and I used about 6 cups or so. Depending on your crock pot size, you may vary that. And then in addition, you can smell it for sure.
Oh, for sure.
How do you say this?
The Worcestershire
sauce,
right? The Worcestershire.
What he said.
Worcester sauce, as we call it. I don't know what it is. Anyways, got that, some apple cider vinegar in there, and then I've got a little bit of Dijon mustard as well, and that's been simmering in there for 4, 5, 6 hours or so on low, letting it all just. What do the flavors do?
They're talking.
They're talking to each other.
Doing a little chit-chatting. Okay.
So we got that in there.
When did the noodles come in?
The noodles are going to come in next. What we're going to do is when we come back, we're going to have our meatballs out of the oven, of course. We are going to add our noodles. I'm also going to put in a little bit of heavy cream in there, and that's going to be probably during the break when we come back. It should be pretty close to done, so you guys can try it, and it's going to be delicious here. There is a way to speed it up. If you don't want to do this, just cook it all at once in half hour, 45 minutes. You can have your Super Bowl.
There you go.
Well, it smells delicious.
It does.
Looks delicious. Jacob's going to put the finishing touches on his soup, and we're going to have the big reveal coming up. In the meantime, you can find out more about what Jacob's doing on his social media, Facebook, and
the big reveal coming up.
Big reveal coming up. We're back now in the CI kitchen with Jacob as we're putting the final touches on our slow cooker Swedish meatball soup.
Okay, let's remind everybody what we've got started today.
Yeah, so we did the meatballs, and I already cooked them and added them on in. You can use frozen meatballs if you're like Heather Roberts and you just take shortcuts all the time.
Oh, my word.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, you got kids at home.
Gingerbread house.
Oh, okay. I see. So you see what you've started now.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay.
I just had something in my throat. I'm sorry.
So we made those meatballs homemade, but if you got some Swedish meatballs, you can find them at the store. If you have to, just use some regular meatballs. It'll taste a little different.
What do you think makes them Swedish?
Well, I know for one thing is that the meatball recipe that I have doesn't have any cheese in it. And that's one thing that's notably missing. Usually like an Italian meatball also is more pork and beef combined, whereas these Swedish meatballs are all beef. So
I thought it was IKEA that made them Swedish.
Yeah, no, yeah, you buy it at IKEA, make it up to Chicago. Okay, so we did the meatballs. They are in there now. In addition, We'll start with 30 minutes before. Add your egg noodles in, let it cook for about 30 minutes. 10 minutes before, add your meatballs in. They're already cooked all the way through. I tasted one to make sure. 5 minutes before, then you want to add a little bit of heavy whipping cream in there, and you're left with this.
Oh.
And it's been simmering in there. Some of my butter that was in with my veggies has came to the top, but that's okay. It's going to taste great. And it's all ready to go. Look at the size of those vegetables in there. I think you guys are probably ready to
Are the only vegetables carrots?
I've got carrots, celery, and onion in there.
Okay.
Ooh. And we made this a soup as well, versus normally Swedish meatballs, you get like some noodles and some of the meatballs, but I think the soup is a nice warm way in the winter to do that.
Oh my gosh, it looks
some?
Amazing.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then you see here as I pull out a ladle, let's get one with a meatball in there so you can see it.
This is a meatball.
Meatball.
I feel like
can
Mario.
you use other kinds of noodles besides egg noodles, or?
If you want to use spaghetti, you can. Egg noodles is probably a little more traditional, but you know, if you've got whatever noodles at home, you can always modify.
Oh, that's
always have random boxes of pasta.
I know he's a hungry guy. Heather will just give a little bit.
Ladies first.
No, I just need like a scoop.
Yeah, and then the other thing too is you can see originally it was a beef broth, but by adding a little bit of cream in there, that broth has turned more clear. Now, before you eat, get Swedish meatballs. We're gonna give a little sour cream on there, right?
I did not see that coming.
A little dollop.
Little dollop in a spoon. And then the other thing that makes it Swedish meatballs, lingonberry jam.
Whoa,
a little bit of that on there.
Lingonberry?
Heather seems nervous.
What's a lingonberry?
Lingonberry is, you can think of it, it's kind of like a cranberry, but way less tart. And it's really good. It's very classic in Norwegian countries, things like that. You can get it. My wife loves lingonberry jam on waffles. That's her favorite way to eat it. So now you can get all the flavors in that. I need to pour myself a bowl too. I'll see how that is.
Okay, I like the jam.
See, Heather likes it. Of course.
That was good.
Really good. You got nice flavor in there. And making it a soup, too. These, wrapping up colder months. We've got the Super Bowl here. If you want to see my soup, S-O-U-P, herbal recipes, I'm going to put a link to all the ones I've made. You remember that pumpkin chili we've had?
Yeah.
We've had pumpkin soup. We've had white chicken chili before. I'll make a list, tomato soup, whatever you want. This is a great recipe for family, friends, for any occasion.
Well, I would say
and it was so easy.
A super dish, Jacob.
See what he did there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm learning. I'm learning from you guys.
Tons, right? Way to go with life.
All right, thanks, Jacob. This is delicious. If you want to get a copy of Jacob's recipe, make sure you're following him on social media, especially his Facebook page where he posts all of his delicious recipes. But of course, you can always link them up as well at crliving.tv.